On your bike in association with Safer Roads Humber, taking road safety seriously.
Hull has many museums, each telling a different story of this cosmopolitan city. And in keeping with our cycling theme, we are here outside the StreetLife Museum, dedicated to the life and transport of the region. Before I go inside to explore the StreetLife Museum, I want to make sure my bike is safe, so I have my bike lock, my bike, and a bike rack. Andy, that's all I need, isn't it?
Well, it's a good start. It kind of comes down to a planning sort of thing, really, I'm thinking of. It's like when you left home, what did you think about? Did you consider whether or not the bike is safe? Has it got quick release wheels, that sort of thing? I'm a bit concerned that maybe somebody might steal some of your component parts. I noticed you've got a bag on the back.
Yes.
Well, do we need it? So hopefully maybe you've got, I don't know, a puncture repair kit, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need that with us.
And somewhere to keep the lock
And
as well.
somewhere to keep the lock, which is really good. Now, the problem maybe with a bike lock is it might not be very good quality. To me, it does look a little bit cheap and a little bit weak. So when I'm thinking about buying a bike lock, I tend to say as an absolute minimum, let's look at maybe 10% of the value of the bike. So now we've got the bike park here.
Yes.
The only problem we're going to have is that we're probably only going to be able to lock the front wheel.
Right.
We're going to try, hopefully, maybe get the cable to go through the frame to give us that extra security. But that's a bit of a concern for us. It might be long enough so that we can go through the wheel, loop around the frame, but that would be the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that we've just got one wheel in there.
Because obviously criminals are looking for a quick fix, I would imagine, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, that's it really. I mean, you've got a very clean, very tidy bike, so it's going to be desirable. So all you've got to do is use a bit of common sense, have a good look around whenever you're thinking of parking a bike, and make sure that if you can park it in a busy, well-populated area, there's going to be less chance of people spending a lot of time trying to cut your locks or defeat whatever security that you've put on them. But basically, it's just a little bit of thinking really before you leave home. Make sure you've got your lock with you and make sure you haven't got anything you don't need.
But we're in Hull, is cycle theft a big problem?
Well, I suppose we do have cycle theft, and the reason we do have it is because it's a popular pastime, it's a popular way of getting from A to B. So, yes, we do have cycle crime. It is a tactic, a problem that we have been looking at for some time, and we've employed all sorts of tactics to try and see if we can resolve it. So it is a problem, I would say, but I think it's a problem that we are slowly getting on top of.
So you're quite happy for me now then, Andy, to go inside and explore the beauties of the StreetLife Museum?
Yeah, I think we've locked the bike. It looks really good, and it's going to be fairly safe. The only thing, though, don't forget to take your helmet in.
The StreetLife Museum is home to 5 galleries, all of which focus on transport. Visitors can immerse themselves in a 1940s high street, board a tram, or experience the rickety carriage ride. The Bicycle Gallery tells the story and evolution of the bicycle with links to the city's history. It's worth a visit to see the collection of early bicycles and a hobby horse from 1818. And we're in the cycling gallery now, Robin.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the cycling gallery within the StreetLife Museum.
Well, it's a unique collection of bicycles. Like I say, dates right back to 1818 with the hobby horse over there, through to the more familiar penny farthings and everything weird and wonderful in between, really, and then right up to your modern-day BMX.
And apart from the cycling gallery, what other attractions does this museum offer to tourists and perhaps cyclists coming to the area?
StreetLife is our most popular museum, and I think that's because of its atmosphere. There are things like street scenes and shop fronts and so on, and it's a good museum just to sort of get lost in and get nostalgic in. There's a gallery about the railways, there's a gallery of vintage cars from the late Victorian period, buses, vans, and we've got a really good collection of carriages, horse-drawn carriages, just next door from this gallery.
And I believe visitors can immerse themselves in a carriage ride.
Yes, there's a carriage ride you can go on to find out what that was like, and also a vintage car ride as well.
Oh wow! How long has that been here, the vintage car ride?
A couple of years now, and of course being based in the museum's quarter with the gardens and the archaeology museum, Hull Riding, and Wilberforce House, it's sort of a much bigger sort of offer to sort of people can come down and spend time here, and we have the space where we do large events outside a few times a year as well.
So it's not just the StreetLife Museum, what's within the museum's quarter?
No.
You said there's
There's the Hull Riding Museum, which is archaeology.
Right.
It's got a sort of a world-class collection of Roman mosaics and many other things. We've got Wilberforce House Museum next door, which is where Wilberforce himself was born, and covers the story of slavery, and we've also just opened new galleries there which cover more local history and craftsmanship and so on. And then we've also got the Arctic Corsair just out the back, which is guided tours on Wednesdays and Saturdays and Sundays. And that's an old trawler, fishing trawler from Hull, which is a great experience.
Because obviously Hull's got a fantastic history, not just cycling and the fishing community. So there's a wealth of history.
There is.
What cyclists and tourists can learn about.
Yeah, definitely, I think so. And I think that's perhaps a nice thing about cycling around Hull, apart from the fact that the city's quite flat, is that you sort of you can explore the city at a human pace, and certainly there's all the fantastic architecture you see, especially around the old town here.
Not every museum in Hull is a building, and anchored in the marina is the Spurn Lightship, which is where I'm off to next. For almost 50 years, the Lightship was anchored off Spurn Point to guide ships to the ports along the River Humber through potentially the most dangerous river estuary in Britain. Hull City Council acquired the vessel in 1983 after it was removed from service in 1975, recognising the Lightship's significance as a landmark of historical importance. Since 1987, visitors have been able to step aboard and discover what life would have been like on board in the often harsh waters of the Humber. So Tom, here we are aboard this fantastic light vessel. Tell me about its history.
Well, it was built in 1927 up the river in Goole for the Humber Conservancy Board, and it was stationed just off the mouth of the River Humber to help guide traffic in and out of the busy river.
Obviously when trawlers was on the harsh, treacherous waters of the River Humber.
That's right, there'd be a welcome sight of the lightship guiding the way back in. And it served until 1975, and then everything was automated.
Right.
And Hull City Council bought the vessel and moored her in the marina, where she's been open since 1987 as a museum. There were 5 light vessels, and obviously shipping navigated using the light vessels so that they didn't run aground or come into any other difficulty on their way in.
What would life have been like aboard this light vessel for the crew members?
Well, he had 7 people on board this ship. It's not a huge ship, so it would have been quite busy. But they were operating 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They would do a month on and then a month off. So once they were out here, they got provisions brought to them maybe on a weekly basis. So they had quite a lot to do, but they also had to make their own entertainment. So they played cards, they fished, and read books.
Why do you think this museum is important to the history of Hull?
Well, it's showing that Hull has got a proud maritime tradition and heritage, and also that continues today. The docks and the River Humber are still very busy. So this is a visible sign of what actually went on 10, 20 miles downriver. So you can actually get a picture and think for yourself of what it was like to be working in the maritime industry.
So you get a real flavour and feel for what life was like aboard back in the day.
Yes, you do. There's a lot to see around here, and we hope that the Spurn is one of the prime points of the offer that the marina and the waterfront's got.
I'm going to step inside now to warm up and have a look inside this light vessel and experience for myself what it was like for the trawlers aboard. So thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you, Luke.
Cycling is an activity anyone can enjoy, and there are more than 300 disabled cyclists in Hull alone. And there's now 70 specially adapted cycles here at East Park. Lance, what a fantastic scheme you have here at East Park.
It's one of the biggest ones in the country. We've got 544 members. 100 of them are groups and organisations, which come from 3 to 20, 30 members in a group at a session.
And what was the concept behind this scheme? What was the reason for setting it up initially?
The scheme was government funded to improve disabled lives in the area for young adults and young people. And they did a consultation with a group of 4 school children to find out what they wanted to do and how they could improve the schemes. And it was identified that the kids had never experienced cycling before.
Right.
So they did some consultations, got in touch with several companies that manufactured the bikes, and that's how the scheme evolved. And then 3 months into the scheme, we opened up into adults, and that's where we've been ever since, and it's slowly grown.
And it's evolving all the time, I would imagine, because how long have you been in operation now?
We're coming into our 6th year of operation. We started in 2000 now. This scheme's vital because it's an escape from the normal environment. I mean, some of them are actually prisoners in their own wheelchairs.
Oh, really?
So we can get them out of the wheelchair, get them on a bike. We have people that have been involved in road accidents that haven't been able to ride a bike for 20, 30 years.
Wow.
And then we can suddenly get them on a bike and they'll end up in tears.
So it's a motivational,
It's a motivational
and
inspiring
thing for them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about your job. How much do you enjoy your job?
It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. Some of the people that we meet, they get under your skin and become real characters and friends. It's one of them jobs where you go home and you think you've made a difference.
Coats, they walk alone down these streets, they don't miss a beat. The clock ticks slowly faster than we laugh.
If you've been inspired to get on your bike but want some tips and advice for riding in the countryside, download the free mobile app, Cycle Yorkshire, Ride the Routes. Follow the links at our website, estuary.tv/on-your-bike for more details. Join me next week as we travel across to the south bank of the Humber to Barton upon Humber and Scunthorpe, where I'll be visiting a regionally acclaimed arts centre, learning about bike maintenance and discovering the story of a famous local Olympic cyclist. That's all from East Park and indeed the city of Hull. Until next week, safe cycling.
On Your Bike, in association with Safer Roads Humber, taking cycle safety seriously.